And good morning to you. Welcome inside the bottom line. Back in the saddle today. Yesterday just did not work out, mainly because Spectrum needed to come in and make some adjustments to my internet service to get a static IP, and they had to come and change equipment. And they said, do you want the 8 o'clock appointment so you don't have to worry about when they're going to get there later on in the day? And I said, yes, I do. I want that first stop. And that's what we got. So I apologize for being gone yesterday, but back today, and then we'll go from here. Trying to think what's going on. I'm bored because there's no college football going on. I miss my college football during the week.
Bored. All I've done is talk about and listen to pundits on, how they're going to rank these teams and the way they ranked them this past way. And Feinbaum says there's no way Alabama gets in, and I think they're absolutely in if one or two things go on.
What's it going to take?
Well, it's going to take a USC loss.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to take an upset in the Big Ten championship, which is highly unlikely.
Purdue, you're talking about Purdue beating Michigan,
and I mean Carolina and Clemson.
Carolina's going to win that game.
Yeah, well, the thing about it, I don't know.
And if Carolina hadn't lost State, they would have had an outside shot of making it.
Yeah, but this is, Clemson's out of it.
Yep.
Georgia, think of it like this. Let's say Georgia goes to the SEC championship. Michigan wins the Big Ten. Okay. Georgia goes to the SEC championship, gets beat by, who is it, LSU, I guess?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, what do you do? So that does eliminate Alabama, but what do you do? How do you factor in TCU as one of the best teams in the country? You can't, but yet they have to because they're undefeated.
Yeah.
So they're not truly ranking them by the best team. They're doing it by who's undefeated and based off a record.
This is a year. If there's ever been a year in the past that really warranted more than 4 teams, this is a year because there's some talent out there.
I think it's still watered down. I don't think Alabama's deserving. Ohio State surely isn't after that performance at home.
Yeah.
Tennessee's very inconsistent. They're showing you that they're capable but not yet there. Okay. Penn State's horrible at number 8. Washington, Clemson at 10. That's unbelievable how they're ahead of LSU. I don't know. All right.
Well, in the playoff, in the college football playoff rankings, LSU's 14.
That's just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
They're 14.
And you know why? Because how many losses do they have?
3.
But it's about the best team. You're telling me you're going to rank Alabama 7 steps ahead of LSU after LSU beat them.
How far down would you have to go for TCU to find a team that they can beat?
Down to Clemson. I think Clemson's the most.
They're going to get down.
Excuse me, Penn State. Or is Penn State above Clemson?
Yeah, Penn State's above.
Can you give me the rundown?
Yep. Georgia, Michigan, TCU, Southern Cal, Ohio State, Alabama, Tennessee, Penn State, Clemson, Kansas State.
I don't think they could beat Kansas State. Or they did beat them already, right?
I think they did.
I don't think they could be consistent and beat them again. Who are they playing in their championship game?
No, they play Kansas State. They've already beat Kansas State 38-28.
And they play them again? All right, so you got to beat them twice. Okay, sure. No problem. But
Baylor should have took care of business.
Yeah,
against TCU.
Yeah, but the problem is I think they lost by 2 or 3 points, something like that. I can't remember what it
against
was.
Baylor.
Yeah,
1 point, 29.
Yeah, I mean crazy stuff. Look, the other score was when they played. Was it Texas when it was like a 7 or 8 point game?
17-10.
Yeah.
And Texas is not good.
No.
Yeah.
No. How about the how did that? Let's see who else in that league is it? West Virginia.
West Virginia. They beat West Virginia 41-31 by 10.
Man, look. What about Oklahoma?
They beat them 55-24 early. That was early in the season
when they were having. Okay, but it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But Lanny, none of this makes any sense after 2 or 3 teams. Then that's where the college playoff idea comes in, because it's like this every year. Oh, there's 4 teams deserving. There's 6 teams deserving. No, there's only 2 really good teams in the country right now. Mm-hmm. That's it. And I'm sorry, but if you line Michigan up against Georgia, it's going to be a 30, 40-point rout.
Mm-hmm.
because of defense.
Mm-hmm.
You have NF style defense going against Big Ten offense.
Well,
it ain't gonna work.
And the other side of it is Big Ten defense can't stop an SEC team.
And that's what I'm getting at.
They barely can stop an ACC team.
You have NFL versus Big Ten. That's
Yeah.
basically, or future NFL. That's what you got. And that's why I still don't think Alabama, and I'm not my dad's a huge so from somewhere, became an Alabama fan, Ohio State, all that, but I don't know, but full disclosure, I went to East Carolina, so I hate everybody. But I'm being funny. But, when you look at it, you have to put Alabama at 3 or 4. People say, no, you don't. SEC, who does USC play? Oh, they beat Notre Dame? Okay.
Their only loss was a 1-point loss to Utah,
43-42.
But they played Stanford, Fresno State, Oregon State, Rice, Arizona State,
How bad they beat
Washington
Oregon State?
It was just 17-14.
And what's Oregon State ranked? They're not.
They're not.
Exactly.
The only teams that are still ranked, Utah at 20, UCLA at 16, Notre Dame at 15, and Utah has now moved up to 11.
And they play Utah in the championship game?
Mm-hmm.
When is that? This weekend?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
That's tomorrow. Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Today's the 1st, right? They play on
That's on Fox.
They play Friday night?
Yeah.
Okay, but anyway, my point is this: Utah wins. All right, go back to your screen if you don't mind. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Hang on.
I'm playing navigator, and I'm not the navigator. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm not being demanding. I was just trying to make a point. All right.
If they get beat,
USC gets beat.
Mm-hmm. They drop out. Ohio State moves back in.
How? There's no way after that performance against Michigan. That's what I'm saying.
Out of the next four, none of them have another game. Ohio State, Alabama, Tennessee, Penn State. So I guess Clemson, if it beat Carolina, could maybe sneak in there, but I don't think so.
There's no way.
Only if TCU would
There's
get
no
beat.
way. See, Tennessee, this is the thing. This is a mess. LSU is going to jump everybody if they were to beat Georgia.
No, they're not, because they're too far down. They can't go
Check
from
this
14.
out. Yeah, oh, yes, they will, because there's nobody else in there, all right, that has the resume that LSU has.
Yeah, but there's never been a two-loss team.
Yeah, there has. LSU did it several years ago. They lost 2 and won national championship. Alabama lost 2 and won national championship.
Okay, I was thinking like there hadn't.
Now, it may have been in the BCS era instead of the whatever era. What era are we in now?
We're in college football playoff.
Yeah, right.
But
The
that
BCS,
started,
I think.
Let me look. I think we've been at 8 years.
Okay, I know that LSU had 2 losses and won national championship, and I think Alabama did as well, because they got in from not winning the SEC championship one year and had 2 losses. And again, I'm
2014. So that's 7 years.
Okay. So 2 lost national champions is what we're looking at. All right, but my point is, if LSU does beat Georgia, that is the most convincing win on the board. All right? What happens is TCU gets beat by Kansas State. USC gets beat by, is it Iowa State? No. Yeah. All right. There's no way you put not you, third person. There's no way you put Penn State, all right? There's no way you put Ohio State. There's no way that you put Clemson in front of LSU making the jump. And then Alabama still has an outside chance of getting in. Feinbaum says no way.
All right, I'm going to give you this. Now, I'm going to correct you, okay? BCS from 98 to 12, no 2-loss team went in. TCU in 08 was not chosen.
Okay.
And then in
I remember that. They were undefeated, right?
BYU had 2 losses. They weren't chosen.
All right. Okay, so what happened is then LSU got in and won national championship with 2 losses one year. It must have been after 14.
I'm going to look that up. Yeah.
Okay, because I remember it, because they got in. for winning. I guess for winning the SEC championship.
That sounds right. Let's see.
It was it was crazy how that happened.
Let's see. I got all kind of comments. Milton, good morning. Hope you're feeling better. Richie, Jeff Meadows, good morning. Richie said that Freeze has relinquished his social media accounts. I'm guessing, Richie, he didn't relinquish them. I'm guessing they told him to relinquish them. Big Mo, good morning. Jeff says TCU is good, not great.
Yeah, he's right. Thank you, Jeff. That's right.
Morning, honey. She said she saw this morning playoffs going to 12 teams in 2024. That's what they want to do.
Good
but that's
Lord.
Not been approved yet.
Don't wear me out, dude.
So then Andrew's awake. So then, how do we explain away Georgia only beating Kentucky 16-6?
Okay, no. That's a great point. Waiting for that point to come up. Monsoon.
Yeah, weather.
Monsoon.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. But that's a good point. I mean, but he's right.
Yeah, Andrew said he's not a Big 12 fan. Just seems like a similar situation. Yep. Richie said, speaking of Texas, I bet they'd like to have Tom Herman back. He was the best coach since Mac was there. But you know what? Mac's back.
Yes, he is.
Mac is back.
He's in a championship game.
They fired him since he could only get to 10 wins. That's what they do in Texas. Southern Cal, Richie said, will get a chance to avenge that loss in the Pac-12 in the championship game. Andrew said that is exactly why it's expanding, takes the pressure off the committee.
Yeah.
I agree.
I
agree.
Committee. That's what I like, Andrew. My favorite word, committee. Yeah, you can tell something's unprofessional.
Now, Richie says it's going to 12 teams next year. Andrew said it was approved this morning, if he's not mistaken.
Wow.
Richie said he got some breaking news last night that it was approved.
Wow. Yeah, the difference between
nice, Todd. That's nice. Todd says it's not a playoff system; it's an invitational.
He's right.
And when the committee's picking them, it is.
That's what I like. A committee. There's like nobody that
committee hides when you can't make a decision.
Well, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Well, the committee suggests that. What does that mean?
Yeah.
That means there's no accountability for the decision because there's no one person that makes the decision, or a group of 2 or 3 people that you can go to.
Thank you, honey. That's what you just said. Yes, she's agreeing with Andrew. 2024. She just saw it on Good Morning America, and that's where all the facts happen.
Is on what?
Good Morning America. She doesn't miss Good Morning America. That's the closest she comes to news. Okay? It's Good Morning America. One of these days I'll listen to you. I listen to you every day.
You gotta hear her, though.
Jerry, good morning.
I think you just hear her every day. You don't listen.
I listen. I'm a good listener.
You are?
I am. Shoot, I'm married. I can't even make a decision unless somebody tells me what to do. I need somebody to tell me what to do. Richie said it's 24. Yeah, he said not enough coffee this morning. 2024 is when it's going to go.
Let's do 140.
But here's the deal.
That.
But wait a minute. Here's the deal.
Yeah, boy, let's do that.
But you gotta have some type of qualification, some kind of objective that qualifies you to get in.
I know what you're saying in the conference championship, but the problem with that is you're not putting the best teams in the playoff.
Well, let me ask you this.
I don't disagree with what you're saying.
Okay, my wife loves you because she says I do not listen to her at all. Okay. I told her it's just amazing how well she's going to get along with her next husband, and she just don't listen. I tried to tell her.
Oh, you're the best pool boy I know.
I am. Just call me Javier. That's correct.
Oh, God.
Okay, so let me go back. I didn't like it to start with, but I like it better now. No. I'm going to high school.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
They're using this RPI where there's some measurements.
Yeah, they're trying to make it measurable.
Okay.
Yeah.
The BCS did that, but they wouldn't just take the measurables. They wanted to
enforce it. I know, because of money.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I want the measurables because the numbers don't lie.
The problem is there's no perfect system, and people are trying to make it
But it's closer
perfect.
when you get away from your opinion.
No. Right. The problem is there's no perfect system, and people in today's world do not like to hear the word no.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, not that people ever have, but it's all about how you deal with it. Not necessarily the situation, but how you deal with the situation, right? And what you have to hear and the things that you have to go by, right? This is indicative of today's world in society, right? So by going to 12 teams, there's appeasement now. But the problem is there's always going to be somebody standing there doing this. What about mine? All right.
Which goes back to what's his name that was at Virginia Tech? Greenberg.
Yeah.
Seth Greenberg.
Yeah, sure.
He was always, why aren't we in? Why aren't we in?
And I could give him several reasons. Okay.
All right. Before we take a break, there's never been a 2-loss team through the BCS and college football.
What year did LSU? Okay, and no problem. Stand corrected. No problem. I just thought I remember LSU being
19 and 20. They were undefeated.
This is a while ago.
Okay, then it would be before BCS. It would be before they, which would have still been like AP.
But
ranking.
LSU, Les Miles was the coach. All right, Saban won a national championship, but I want to say Les did. Coach Miles did.
That was in BCS
with a two-loss record.
Okay, I'll find it.
No, and again,
No.
And could be 100% wrong. No, just saying that. And I'm gonna look it up too.
We're gonna take a break. Four needs another due, and we'll all be better in a minute.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com.
Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stiefel Nicholas can assist you. Call Ford Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stiefel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
Yeah, welcome back. Got some comments that came in I really need to get to. You're going to like these, especially for. Ernie says, you got heat in your doghouse because you're going to get cold, Lanny. Obviously, you just woke up because I'm always in the doghouse, Ernie. That's all I'm going to say. Back up here. Yeah, Richie said the hang-up on the biggest hang-up on expanding was the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, because of the
it's
tradition
always,
of it.
yeah.
Right, absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's fine. You just go away from that.
Well, I mean,
Todd says numbers don't lie, but liars figure. Andrew said, let's just put the top 12 traveling fan bases in, then everyone's happy. The bowls currently have certain matchups, but not if they don't think that's a team that'll travel to where they're at. They shuffle that around. Don't make rules if you're not going to follow the rules.
Well, the thing about it is appeasement is at an all-time high in order to maintain where you are, right? Maintain status.
Mm-hmm.
And right now they're trying to appease everybody because they think, well, things aren't fair. Well, what is the definition of fair?
It's that place up in Cleveland County to have it in September. That's a fair.
One side gets what they want, the other one agrees to it. I know what it means. But the simplest way, and the way that they don't like doing it, but the simplest way is your conference champions play. I'm not saying it's right, but that's the simplest way. Because then
Jeff Meadows has a ball hit between the lines.
that's a good point.
I like that.
But yeah, but they're trying to come up with a formula that is never going to be agreeable or agreed upon, because it's always going to be, well, this team got left out. If you just did 2 teams for national championship instead of 4, well, that's not fair to 3 and 4 team. Well, okay, these are the rules. All right, there you go, man. There you go. It's like playing 6 games to get to win a state championship in high school football.
That's crazy.
That's an extra season.
Yep, 60%.
And now the latest thing is they may go to 7 classifications.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I've coached in all 4 and taught in all 4. Your greatest discrepancies are your 1As and your 4As.
Let me go back since we're there. Before we get there, let me. Lincoln says Ohio State never goes by those rules. Richie says if it were 12 teams today, it would be 1 ACC school, 2 Big 12s. The SEC, Big Ten, and Pac-12 would have 3 each.
It's terrible.
And going back, 4 was right. 2007, LSU in the BCS era,
Right.
at 12 and 2, beat Ohio State for national championship. And Brian Huss, hope you feel better, buddy. We thinking about you and praying for you. I saw you didn't get exactly the news that you wanted. You hang in there. The other thing is that I got mad about was the year that Alabama won the national championship and did not play in their conference championship game.
That's correct.
So they got an extra bye week.
But they were clearly, and they proved it because they had to win 2 games. Clearly, one of the top 4 teams in the country.
Yep.
And that's the way the system's supposed to work. So then they go back on a year like that and say, well, see, the system worked. But yet you have so many discrepancies. Bottom line, conference champion, have 8 conferences, conference champion. Be the best in your league.
Get away from conference championship games. Go back to what I said before. Let's just say.
Everybody plays everybody.
Let's just say, yes. Let's go back and say, okay, we're going to go to 10-team conferences, 8 of them.
Sure.
Okay?
Sure.
You don't have 80 teams that can compete with each other week in and week out. Okay?
Yeah, but it's like that in every sport.
I understand, but you play, and the winner of that goes to the – yeah.
It is what it is.
But the conferences are greedy.
Check this out. So you go along, you're the number 3 ranked team in the country, okay, and you're playing a 10-league team like you're talking about. All of a sudden, you have one player that twists an ankle that's really bad. Let's just say high ankle sprain. Then you have another one that's got a real bad shoulder, but they're not out for the year. Those 2 players on that team are the quarterback, and I'm just giving an example. Let's just say a safety. They're the top 3 players in the country. All right, so they missed 3 games. All right. Now they've lost one of those conference games. The other team went undefeated, but everybody knows it's not near as good as that team. They were a 15 ranked team, and they finished the year no better than 9, but they still get to go because they beat that team that got hurt. What are people going to say? Both kids are healthy by the end of the year. Well, clearly the best team's not playing. That was the whole point of doing the college football playoff, for things like that. So it got away from the dynamics of building a team and went back to the focus, which is what professional sports is on. It's no longer about teams. It's about individuals. All right? That's where we're at.
And with the NIL and the portal, that's all it is now.
Things are so skewed that now you're going to start seeing more people pull for players. Like Drake May, for example. All of a sudden, he ends up going to Ohio State, okay, and making 120. I'm not saying I'm just giving an example. And he makes $125 million to go to Ohio State. I'm throwing out crazy numbers. He leaves Carolina and goes there. If that happens, college football will come to a screeching halt. I'm not saying it's going away, but it will come to a halt. Because people will not like the inconsistencies and the hire for play. All right?
See, I don't think he cares anymore. I think we've already gotten there.
Right. So TV contracts are what is at the forefront of everything. All right? The issue is it's kind of what's happening at the Carolina Panthers. You used to go and pull for the Panthers. Then they tried to make it about the experience of the game instead of you pulling for your team, right? And
that's minor league baseball.
Right. It's not that things don't change over time, and that's okay. How we adapt to them is what's most important. The issue is for something to remain sustainable, there has to be a core value system that is set up, or it crumbles because the transaction is no longer mutual. That is what's happened and what is happening, and that's what's evolving. That's why the NFL struggles to put people in stadiums. They never – you notice how they blur out things now when they just show the person? When used to, you could see everything. You see the person and, they were interviewing, whether it be –
kind of like covering seats at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Okay. So my point to this is what will follow is the TV contracts. Look at NASCAR. What has happened with NASCAR? It basically died for the fan base. The TV contracts are great, but they got nobody watching anymore, and people know that. So what have they done in North Wilkesboro? Okay, you're going to see a full resurgence where what will happen is your smaller schools will start saying, if you come here and play, we're not bringing anybody else in here other than people we recruit. They're not going to come off the portal, and you're going to have opportunity. People are looking for opportunity. What you cannot do is expect a kid to go to Ohio State and work there 3 or 4 years and earn that position, and then somebody else just come in because of that. This is where the problem is. Well, no, I'm just saying this is where the problem is. Now, if it's a freshman that comes in, that's a different story. People say, what's the difference? It's all about play. There is a big difference because you're asking people to invest their lives into a program that's no longer about the program. It's based off the individual. And we even see it some in high school sports.
Mm-hmm.
It's just trickling down.
Everything does. It's a top-down effect.
It is. And I'm just saying, it doesn't matter if times change, because they are.
Mm-hmm.
My point to it is because things change doesn't make it right.
Right. That's right.
It doesn't make it sustainable.
2 things that I can't deal with. Okay. This is the way we've always done it.
Yeah, that's the first sign of failure.
That I can't deal with.
Failure,
I can't deal with that.
That's right.
And the other one is, well, this is right because we do it this way.
Yeah.
You can't.
Which is the same thing as saying this is the way we've always done it.
You can't do it.
No,
you
100%
just can't do it.
You're 100%
You cannot
right.
do it.
Yep.
Because when you do that, you're making excuses. It's like when people say they find a scapegoat when something goes wrong. Well, that's what it is. You're looking for an excuse to make why you're inefficient be
100%.
Be acceptable.
Check this out. So, a year or so ago, talking to a guy, and this guy lives 2 or 3 counties away. He's got a kid. He was a junior, senior at that time. And he had a coach come up to him and say, I'm talking about baseball, okay? He had a coach come up. He's in high school. Coach comes up to him and says, look, if you come play on my summer team, all right, and let's just say it's like American Legion, all right, I'll teach you how to play baseball. Like, I will teach you the game. You can do this. You can do that. Now, this is what I heard him say that another guy told him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what the dad of the kid told that coach? I'm not interested in my kid learning the game. I want my kid to be seen so he has a chance to go play college baseball. Okay? Now, in itself, I understand the point about getting out there, being seen, doing these kind of things. What's happened is college baseball in particular is filtered down for the Major League Baseball Players Association. Is saying that kids no longer know how to play the game. Well, if all you do is emphasize, listen to this, if all you do is emphasize how hard they throw, how fast they run, what the exit velocity on their bat is, and what the launch angle is, what are they going to focus on? They're going to focus on the matters most important to those that are in charge. All right? It doesn't matter about foundational things. We got kids that play high school baseball, varsity baseball, that do not know how to set up tandem relays. They do not know how to when's appropriate to cut the ball.
I don't play baseball. I'm not a baseballer, but I know that.
You don't have
You know
to
what
be.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, there are certain basic fundamentals of the game
There's not anymore.
I understand, but it's in every sport.
Yeah,
that's the other thing.
that is what
nobody's
I'm saying.
coaching for fundamentals and
No, they
foundation.
coach for stats. And this is the problem. Stats in 1 or 2 or 3 games, look appealing, but you need a run in football of 8 to 10 games before it makes sense, before you can truly, see where it is. And in baseball, you need about the same, maybe more. Basketball the same way. And I'm just saying that it's, the combines have killed opportunity for kids.
Yeah.
Based off of what they talk about Cooper
Measurables.
Cup.
They're just looking at
Cooper
measurables.
Cup.
Mm-hmm.
No Division I offers. He might be the best wideout in
I know.
football.
Yeah.
Again, this is what I'm saying. Like this mindset of, only the best. Only this is this. Only the you can't.
No, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
Lincoln Pauly says, why have conferences if their championships do not mean anything?
Exactly.
I agree.
Link gets the gold star.
You've got to have meaning to what you do.
Gold star.
You have to have meaning to what you do. Ronnie said the sports media and the committee would be happy if Alabama was an automatic every year. To some extent, Ronnie, but there are people getting tired of the same teams being in there every year. You're losing eyeballs, and that's why I think that's the push to get the playoffs expanded, because they don't want to see the same teams. Todd said, I agree with Ford. There are 131 schools in FBS, make 12 conferences, 11 game seasons, conference championships, play in the playoff. Milton said you have 10 semi-pro teams, the rest are college football teams, and that's true.
And who said that?
Milton.
Milton's right. And when you say semi-pro,
yes,
they're like, that's accurate.
Yeah.
I mean, not old school semi-pro. I'm talking about like these guys are ready for the next step.
Jeff Mackey, good morning. Jeff said 4K kids hit the portal yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that.
And 39K are in the portal as of today. That's crazy. That means you're not happy and you're not as good as you thought you were. Andrew said, however, the opposite of the transfer portal style is what Clemson is experiencing right now with DJ. You need to elaborate a little bit, because I don't understand.
Okay, I'm gonna let him elaborate, but I know what he's saying.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll come back to that in a second. Yeah. Lincoln said the academies can't take the transfers in; they will be losing recruits more and more.
That's right.
And Milton's correct. The fundamentals of the game are no longer taught.
Any game.
Yeah, any game. I don't care what sport it is. Andrew said Hunter Renfro was a two-sport walk-on. And I've always said, and I put myself as a poster child, I came from a team that went 3-7 my sophomore year, 0-10 my junior year, and then we went either 5-5 or 6-4 my senior year. But I had grades and I could play, and I was found. So if you can play, they will find you.
You don't have to have grades anymore.
Well, back then you did. You had to have an SAT.
No, that's what
Please
I'm
don't
talking
take – my only claim to fame is I got into Duke.
No, and rightfully so. And I can tell every day when I speak with you how you did. But this is the thing.
But I didn't care how much that diploma was worth.
The world has changed
Andrew.
so much. You know, when you go from industrial base to
– oh, I know.
You know, to basically, World Wide Web – all right, it started in at 89, okay? When you make that transition, all right, and your educational system is still 50 years behind the transition, the emphasis is all – you know what let me tell you this. Any loan officer that I've ever sat down with, whether I know them, all right, and have history with them or not, if I'm looking to do whatever, I'm just giving an example. They never look at me and say, I need to see your college transcript and your high school grades. You know what they want to see? Show me your financial sheet. Okay, now, does that minimize the importance of education? Absolutely not. What it does is, though, it brings to light of the importance of how you apply the education have
to get to where you
got. Exactly. Yeah. And so this thing about, I'll give you a great example. There's some people that can't believe, and that's okay, that next week we're going to Disney for a week and Quinn's going to have exams. Why are you doing that? Why are you going then? Well, with what I just said, we have to go when we can go. Do I care about final exams? Do I make that a point of emphasis with my kids?
I've argued with that for years. But I
now,
don't have
again,
kids in school anymore. So
again, and anybody says, well, you don't think educate. You are totally.
No.
Where's the camera at?
There's a difference. There's a difference between education for knowledge and education for a test.
It's the application of what you are learning to further you in life is what's important.
That's correct.
No, again, when you go on a job interview, they do want to see, where you were education-wise, because it shows consistency as far as, are you going to be reliable? Are you going to finish the job? Are you going to do this?
Did you get the paper? We don't need to see your transcript.
Right.
Never been asked for a transcript. Any job.
Now, again, if anyone is saying that I don't think education's important, you're totally missing what I'm saying.
My problem with the education, which is a whole nother conversation, is we got away years ago from educating individuals to teaching for a test to satisfy somebody else to make sure their ass was covered.
Well, this,
and that was
and this is it. This is it. So a broad-based knowledge to be able to go into the world and function and have some idea of what, your community is like, how your community got founded, your government. Well, none of that's being taught. Okay? It's all being taught. Well, you better care about somebody else's feelings and do that before. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But the point of sports in this is there's no difference in the two.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because today a lot of schools aren't requiring an SAT or ACT. What does that tell you?
They're playing a different game you are.
Well, and they need to.
Todd said, not just sports. We have people paying for degrees who can't do simple math, and that's correct. Andrew has answered my question, and I'm going to take a break, and then I'm going to come back because I haven't fought with Andrew in a long time.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com.
Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stiefel Nicholas can assist you. Call Ford Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stiefel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
Ernie, just in case you're wondering, I just had a phone call from my wife, and she wore me out. That's all I'm going to say.
Woodshed. Woodshed.
Took me out back. Yeah,
Love it.
got that woodshed whooping. All right, let me go back here. I'm going to catch Andrew Mooney before I catch Andrew Williams. Andrew said, more importantly, now what they are teaching isn't even fundamentally sound. They're more worried about social issues and who's offended and who not to offend, and that's correct.
Yeah, things have changed.
Now, Andrew Williams, okay, he's a diehard. God.
Yes.
Andrew
Yes.
said, I
Very
mean,
loyal.
the sticking with one guy that sticks around and earns his spot, being loyal instead of going and grabbing the next hot player with NIL money. So basically, you're danged if you do or you're danged if you don't. Clemson has stuck with the guy that has put in the work to earn his spot, but the crowd screams to ditch him and grab the next guy. Mm-hmm. I'm not looking to grab anybody, but I'm looking to grab somebody that you've already felt like was as good as he is and will be the continuation and maybe better. I don't see you saying that same thing, Andrew, when they replace Kelly Bryant with Trevor Lawrence. I don't understand. Are you in the DJ fan club? You and Dabo? You president, vice president? What's the deal here?
Say that again about Kelly Bryant and Trevor. Say it again.
Trevor came in as a freshman to replace Kelly Bryant.
Yes.
And nobody had a problem with that. But for some reason, you can't do that with DJ. You can't do that because we're going to stick with him. We're going to lose 3 games this season.
Yeah. Well, I was told – no, to your point, I was told back at – now, I believe I told you this at the end of September by someone that, is very involved in Clemson. Mm-hmm. All right. I'll just leave it at that. Very involved. That DJ was a team captain. That was going to be their guy, and that's who they're going to ride or die with. I'm not. I'm just telling you that's what I was told. To all and I was told that point blank.
Not taking anything away from him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess from where I'm coming from. So is that commitment the commitment you stick with that one player to the detriment of the other 103 that are on the team?
Yeah,
I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you understand what I'm saying?
But see, the point was that I took away from that conversation of 2 or 3 minutes was that it would be more detrimental to the locker room based off of DJ's leadership and the fact that he's a team captain of replacing him with someone that had not yet earned that. Now, again,
and Andrew has clarified that. He's talking about going outside the program.
Yeah, no, I know what he's saying. Yeah, no, and he and I have talked about that before.
And I'm completely with you there, Andrew.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm completely with you there.
Yeah.
I'm not into going and buying a player. No.
Right. But the problem is anytime you pay, that's what happens. Now it's just legal, so it can be taxed.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. That's where we're at.
Link says that's the problem with officials. Look who they promoted over lots of guys who have worked for years for that spot. Officials are getting worse on a daily basis.
Check this out. I was told last night by a local female official that she's being encouraged to go do college basketball, and that she told me this last night. She said she was told that it didn't matter if they know the game or not as long as you looked the part. That's what she told me last night.
Have you seen? And I'm nothing against this. Okay, I'm not. I have no problem. I've seen no issues. There's almost every game that I've seen in the NFL, or let me put it this way: at some point in a game on Sunday with the NFL, there is a female official
Absolutely.
on the floor.
I'll watch him.
And I have no problem.
No.
As long as you do your job, I could care less.
And last night, that was a conversation I was having with this lady who I know very well, and you do too. Okay, we're not saying any names. But I think, her point was wait a minute. I've worked really hard, and she is very, very good at what she does. She's called all 4 games. At high school, a lot of times she'll call the 2 JV games and the 2 varsity games. She's very, very good. She's polished. She knows the rules. She has conversations during the game with coaches. She's very, very good. I think her point was wait a minute, I've worked really hard. I just don't want to look the part. I want to be the part.
Well, I'll give you another comment.
That was kind of, now, did she tell me that's the way she felt? No. But a lot of times you can see that. And you can feel it in that conversation.
I hope my wife is still listening because I say this all the time. I have no problem with women on the sideline, okay, as long as they're not just eye candy. I want you to know the game, okay?
Are you talking about them officiating?
No, I'm talking about commentators. Like sports has gotten where they don't want somebody of knowledge on the sideline to comment on the game as it flows.
Oh.
They want eye candy,
yeah,
okay?
Right.
I can't deal with that because when you go Holly Rowe, Pam Oliver, the ones that have been around for years,
and
they're not the young slimmers that they want to put out there, but they have earned the respect,
They're
and people want to hear their opinion. You know what I'm saying? Don't put somebody out there just because, I'm not a fan of Erin Andrews. Yeah. Don't do that.
But
and like, I'm okay. I don't like women play-by-play in men's sports, but I love women play-by-play and analysts in women's sports more so than I want a man to come because they have more actual experience and understanding.
I got to tell you, it doesn't bother me as far as like commentating the game and doing things like that. And I'm gonna tell you why. Having a fundamental understanding of something a lot of times requires you to experience it. But the way that you can experience it may be on different levels than the way that you and I experience football. There's a lot of a lot of ladies out there that have never had that opportunity to play,
right,
but still have a pretty good fundamental understanding due to competition in other sports and similar. But, baseball, Sunday night baseball is really good.
Jessica Mendoza.
Yeah. I mean, I have
love watching her on women's softball. I don't watch a lot of baseball, so I don't know. But yeah, she's earned it in MLB.
No, but what I'm saying is that, like, all of these things that are coming to fruition now, like, there's a lot of things that I agree with the way that with what they say and how they say it.
I'm all about the job. Just show you can do the job.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't matter to me, like, guy, man, woman, any of this stuff. I just want competence in the area that's being done. And I think most people do too. And, there's just a lot of opportunity in this world right now. And I think, that what people are doing is that are seizing that opportunity or realizing if I can improve myself every day to some degree, whether it be a little or maybe a big jump that day, and make myself better at what I do, regardless if it's male or female, then there's going to be I've got a niche and there's going to be demand for me.
I just want competency in your job.
Yeah, sure.
That's all.
But, again, it doesn't matter to me, like NFL-wise. The lady's name's Sarah. She's an NFL official. I
don't know my name.
But, anyway, the reason I remember her name is, and I don't know any of the other. Like, I know Ed Hockley because all he does is,
flex. The guns. He's got the guns.
Just, first down, he's sitting there going like this, and his arms are just massive,
Yeah.
But, yeah, and watching them and how they go about their game, like I watch her interact with other coaches because this is new. I want to see how there's no issue. She's very professional. She's very straightforward. And I got to be honest with you, to some degree, I think she's less emotional.
Yeah.
Than some of the other, officials.
Probably,
I've seen
and some of them probably not as intimidated as some officials.
Right.
Richie said Kelly Bryant's mom said, I heard her firsthand. She wasn't happy. I have firsthand knowledge. She worked at his organization.
Yeah.
He said, I worked with her and beside her. I will say she never made a cross word toward anyone in public. She was always positive that her child would succeed.
Absolutely.
And I go back to this one, and I've said this before. Dabo did him a solid in saying, look, I'm making a move.
Yes.
I want to give you an opportunity to hook on somewhere else if you want to. You're welcome to stay here, but here's what I'm doing. He was honest and upfront. He did it with the proper timing so he didn't hurt his development and career.
Yes.
And I don't know what that is. Andrew said the problem I'm afraid Clemson is having is they are stuck with waiting on their return on investment with DJ. After last Saturday, I think I finally decided as well that he can't or isn't going to do it. But Dabo immediately came out and said he's my starter in the championship game.
Yeah.
And I can't figure it out. Jeff said, how do you feel about Olivia Pichardo? I'm not familiar with her, Jeff. Todd said, I'll take the random female official over Jerome Boger. I love Jerome Boger. It is bad when you know the ref's name. Also, my daughter Madison has mentioned she might be interested in becoming an AD someday, and that's good too. That's good too. Link said NFL cut all their officials that were over 60.
Yeah.
And Milton said the best officials are the ones you don't know their name. The best officiating crew is the crew that you don't know's there. Yeah. That's it. My wife said, I think I have as much, if not more, than some men when it comes to football. And it does. I get that. Jeff Mattis, the D1 baseball coach at Brown University. I didn't remember the name. I know what you're talking about, Jeff. As I said, I don't have a problem with there's been a female assistant in the NBA for years.
I think she's a player.
She is a player.
Yeah, I think she's a player there that's on the team. Yeah, I know what Jeff's talking about now because I saw a little clip on it the other day. I mean, you know what? Things work themselves out over time. You know, it's one of those things where you can either do it or you can't. And basically, it's like that in about anything.
Now, Link said it's best if the officials, when they don't know your name. Well, that was always a problem, Lincoln, because I was always a pain. That was just who I was. Richie said if you get a chance, check out Dabo's comment about the play and play calling. It was along the lines if someone's questioning how the pro game is run and the plays being called, then they need to hire someone else. I don't think it's as much that, except when he does this. Now, I still have a problem with that. And then he also said that Streeter was maybe being considered for a head coaching job. Yeah. They're talking about cutting Streeter loose because can't get the job done. Yeah. Sometimes I don't think
that's the case.
Sometimes I just think Dabo is loyal to a fault.
I don't think it's to a fault. I think what's happened is at this point it really wouldn't matter who he put back there because there's so much dysfunction. And what I mean by that is it will hinder the growth and development of – who's the freshman? Well, anyway, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, from Texas.
Yeah. I think he saw in the one series when they didn't have success when he made the change, I'm not going to put this kid out here. This is not good. We're going to get through this season, and then we're going to address a lot of these major issues we're having. And when they say issues with Clemson, a lot of other programs would like to have those issues, but it's not at the standard that Clemson sets. And that's what great programs do. They don't set the standard based on what everybody else tries to do. They base it on what their expectation is. And I think that he has looked long-term instead of seasonally and said, we're going to get through this with DJ, and then next year this younger kid is going to overtake this thing. We're going to shore up some spots, and we're going to have some better continuity, and then we're going to be back in more of a competitive, dominant status than just showing up and not doing anything against Notre Dame, getting beat by the Chickens, and the like. So that's what I think after thinking about this for a while.
Well, I can agree with that, and I don't think you will – I don't know that it will happen. I'm not convinced that he made the best decision in selection of coordinators. I think that was a loyalty thing because it's another one of those things.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that there would not be a laundry list of really good, qualified, probably former head coaches that would be on the list to be a coordinator at Clemson? And he may feel a little threatened by that. I don't know.
I think he's to the point now kind of where Saban is in his career where, you know what, who's the best available person for this job? The best available coordinator. I mean, when he went out and got Lane Kiffin, all right, who is an absolute whatever. Mm-hmm. I like him, but, I kind of like
the different.
Yeah, I do. I like him, all right, But
he can coach.
And that's what I'm getting at, all right? I think whenever you get to that point, which I think Dabo is, I think he was given an opportunity in-house. And now he's going to go outside the realm, kind of like Carolina did, and I say kind of like they did, where, they went outside, did this, did that. I don't know, man.
All right, let me catch this one comment and I'll go. Bob said, I think Dabo's been told that DJ's the quarterback no matter what due to the previous happenstance when he made the Bryant to Lawrence change. Well, here's the deal, Bob. I think the proof is in the pudding that he made the right change because Kelly Bryant did not he did not ascend to the level that Trevor did in college or the pros. So I'm thinking he made the right decision. And he made it inside his roster. He didn't go out and get him. He made it inside his roster. So I'm okay with that.
There's a lot there that, obviously we only know what we know.
Yeah. Well, I've tried to get Andrew to open up more because they talk on, nightly, I think, him and Dabo, but he just won't give us any more information. All right, out of here. Have a great day, everybody. Go Drone Wildcats. Thanks,
Good
Jeff.
luck, Drone.